So 2020 just halted a lot of things, and when it comes to movies, I mean, they closed down movie theaters, movie studios had to stop production on films that were supposed to come out this year. But that didn't stop Netflix from pulling out the most documentary series that I've ever seen just come out in a year. I mean, I think I watched a lot more documentary series this year than ever in my life. I watched more documentaries than films themselves this year. That being said, I'm gonna name my top 5, my personal favorite, the ones that I found the more interesting. And no, I didn't watch all of them. There's probably a few out there that I didn't get to see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you my top 5 since we're coming to the end of the year. And this year, to me, it was like the year for documentary series. I mean, we have something for like the randomest thing. So before we begin, just a little disclosure, this is my personal list and your list might not agree with mine. But hey, we're not here to argue, we're just here to share our personal preferences. So let's get started. For the number 5 spot, I'm gonna give it to The Surgeon's Cut. And I will mention this, if you're not into the medical field, you don't have to be in order to be interested. I mean, I'm personally not that into anything that has to do with medicine or medical field, but this actually got me interested. It hooked me from the beginning. It's a 4-part series. Each episode is dedicated to a different kind of surgeon. We have a brain surgeon, we have a heart surgeon, we have a transplant surgeon, and a doctor that works with fetal medicine. What I really like about the documentary is that it really just makes it clear. It simplifies it about what each surgeon does, the types of surgeries that the most common surgeries that they do, and they actually explain the process and why it's done and what is the goal that they're going for in each surgery. I mean, they even like to draw it out and like, not cartoon drawings, but like it's really simple diagrams that help the viewer just understand like what's going on without throwing too much terminology, without throwing all these words that, you know, most people that are not in the medical field wouldn't understand. I like in particular the brain surgeon, how they show these cinematic shots, especially when he's explaining how he feels when he's in the room. He's explaining how what's going through his mind, what's going through his emotions as, you know, before and during a surgery. And he uses a very poetic or metaphorical way of speaking to explain what he's going through, and also to talk a little bit about his background. I personally liked it because that's what hooked me. That's what kept me more interested. So the fact that they use these cinematic shots and metaphors to narrate the documentary is what made it unique, and it didn't end up boring me as I thought it would. And coincidentally, I was watching this at the hospital, and I gotta say, it wasn't bad. And up next, number 4, I will say it goes to Song Exploder. Recently, they just added their second volume, their second part to the series. Each episode is dedicated to a particular song from an artist or a band, and it gives info on how this song just came to just literally explode, how it became a big hit. Some of the most biggest hits that we know today that just somehow don't seem to get old, that made a huge impact in the music industry, now have a little bit of background info to explain how that came to be. We get a bit of info from the band or the artist on how they started, and then they really start to like dig into how this song came to be, everything from the lyrics, from the melodies, how this melody started, what was their inspiration for the lyrics for writing the song. So you get a really detailed description in the matter of like about half an hour or less for each song. And what I really like about it is that at the end of each episode, they play the song, you know, that each episode is dedicated for. And ironically, when they play the song, I actually end up enjoying the song more now than before. A lot of these songs I haven't heard in a while, but when it was playing, I actually enjoyed it as if it was like the first time that I actually ever heard the song. So the number 3 spot goes out to The Social Dilemma. The Social Dilemma deals with what we all know of today. I mean, social media, technology. And what really hooked me about this series is that these people, the people that are talking, the people that they're interviewing, they're former employees of like Google, Facebook, and other Pinterest, other places like that, all the big companies that we all know of. They're employees that just decided to get out because they are speaking against social media. They're speaking against the things that we all use today. Everything that these people have in common is pretty much them telling the viewer, hey, limit your usage. If you can, just completely get out of it. It is something that It's like a virus that you're getting sucked into. These people are almost begging us, begging the viewers to just stop, to completely delete every account that you have, to just stop using it completely. And pretty much the reason behind why we use social media is because they're trying to get us to just be on the screen as much as possible. That's the whole goal. It's not whether you subscribe. It's not whether you subscribe to some membership online or buy stuff online. No, they just want us, I should say us because I'm in this too. They just want us to be staring at a screen for as much as possible. And what really got me was when they're explaining that the idea of this whole design, all this social media design, they're pretty much taking principles that they use to design machines at casinos to get people hooked, to get people just hoping that they're gonna get, you know, 3 sevens, just the lucky numbers to win something. They're using those principles, but just somehow turning it into this technological world. And if you have the time, I would say really watch this one. I mean, it's like mind opening. It really opens your mind. It really just makes you think, okay, am I really hooked? Would I consider myself an addict, or do I really use social media that much? I mean, it really makes you think. They actually make you question yourself and just analyze yourself. How much time of your day do you actually spend looking at that phone screen? Number 2 is gonna go out to High Score. They go into some real depth and detail behind the creation of each of the more popular genres that we know today, like fighting games, about RPGs, multiplayer games, storytelling games. I mean, this series takes it all the way back to like its roots, to the video games that we know now. It's a lot of nostalgia, especially for me, because a lot of these titles I grew up playing. I mean, it's like our childhood right there. You get to know how these things started and why we love it so much. And the number 1 spot, I'm gonna have to give it to the toys that made us. This one hits home. This one was definitely a lot of nostalgia for me, because every episode of this series is for a toy, a specific toy that just made every kid's dream come true. It goes into depth of how the creation, the ideas behind these toys, how these companies, some of these companies struggle to get this product out there. A lot of lawsuits, a lot of just controversy. Everything from WWE wrestling toys to the Ninja Turtles, the Power Rangers, for all you girls, My Little Pony, all that, all these toys that, you know, just made history. And while watching this series, what really made me enjoy it was just, it just takes you back home. I mean, if you're from my generation or before, it just takes you back home to when you were a kid, playing with these toys, just seeing those commercials on TV. Back then when there wasn't no social media, there wasn't none of this crap, you know, and you would look at these commercials and you would just want that toy. You would just desire it. Or it takes you back to when you would go with your parents, you know, you go to Toys R Us, you're walking down those aisles. I mean, it just brought back a lot of these flashbacks, a lot of these memories. And that to me is what made Toys That Made Us the most enjoyable series out of all of these. So there you go, and there you have it, my top 5 documentary series that I have seen this year in 2020. Once again, I did not see all of them. I didn't get a chance to see all of them, so I wouldn't know. Maybe you saw something that I didn't see that you think is good. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Did you agree with one of mine, or did you disagree with one of mine? Let me know as well. If you like what you saw in this video, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss none of my videos. I wish everyone has had a happy holidays, and thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see y'all next time.